Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. The Black Ops Cold War Alpha has now officially come to a close at this point, and even though it was only around for a few days, it gave us the opportunity to experience a lot of gameplay stuff, right? We had access to a lot more than I thought we would for it being an alpha, between all the weapons, attachments, and even maps that we had too. So we got to experience quite a bit of the game. Now, Treyarch has already said that a lot is going to be changing leading up to the beta and, of course, the full launch of the game too. But today I wanted to sit down and talk about my honest thoughts on the game. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and pretty much everything in between. So if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, we have had a ton of new people subscribing lately. We are on the road to 600,000 subscribers. So if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the world of Call of Duty, feel free to hit that subscribe button, maybe even turn on those notifications. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. Also, if you want to stock up on any G Fuel stuff just in time for the Cold War beta or Season 6 of Modern Warfare and Warzone, right now code IMMORTAL will get you 30% off your entire order. So now is a great time to grab a shaker cup, a starter pack, or even a brand new tub. Anyways, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. First and foremost, I will say, this to me did really feel like an alpha. In years past, when we've played the betas and when we've played the other alphas, some of those games basically just felt like a demo of the game at that point. But to me, this game definitely seems like it's not a completely finished product, which I wouldn't say is like a bad thing by any means. It's an alpha for a reason. We are testing an early build of the game. You know, it makes sense that things don't seem fully complete. And hopefully we're going to be able to see some noticeable improvements come the beta and then eventually the full release of the game as well. Now, I guess we'll dive into what I liked first, and then we'll get into what I wasn't really a huge fan of and what I'd like to see improved. So one thing I really enjoyed from my time playing was the weapon customization. Now, I know it's the gunsmith, so obviously it's pretty similar to Modern Warfare and Warzone, but to me it felt like there were some noticeable improvements, even in some smaller cases like just being able to see the percentages when it comes to what attachments are going to affect on any given weapon. Just from that, I feel like I can really build a much more efficient weapon right out of the gate. So considering we didn't even have all the available attachments unlocked, I am really looking forward to messing around with new attachments and new setups to really make just the best classes possible, and of course, share them with you guys as well throughout the year. So without a doubt, a huge pro from this alpha in my mind is that of the weapon customization. Now, another thing that I really enjoyed was just the overall weapon balancing too. I tried to use as many different weapons as I possibly could, and I really felt like I could use a variety of different weapons and still do well regardless of what my enemies were using. Now, obviously, things like the AK-74U, the Type 63, the Stoner, those were some of the standouts when it comes to just weapons that were really, really effective to use. But the fact that I could try out basically any weapon I wanted to and still feel like I was competing even in some of those sweatier lobbies is great news, considering the Modern Warfare and Warzone metas were just basically super strict. Whereas the current balancing in this game felt really diverse, and that is something I absolutely love to see. Then the final thing I wanted to bring up when it comes to things I enjoyed from this alpha was some of the audio changes. Now, I will admit, overall, I thought the Modern Warfare audio was pretty good in some regards, just not when it came to footsteps. You pretty much can't hear people at all in Warzone most of the time, but right away in Cold War, I noticed I was able to pinpoint where exactly people were pushing from because I could hear them running or sliding. And that is what I remember Call of Duty being like, you know, being able to use that information to your advantage. And so I'm very happy to see, or I guess rather hear, that audio information seemed to be a priority for Treyarch when they were designing the game. So once again, 2 thumbs up from me there. But now on to the dislikes, what I was not thrilled about with this alpha. And as I mentioned earlier, some things kind of felt unfinished and sort of unpolished, and the animations definitely fall underneath that umbrella. The weapon animations didn't really feel all that fluid, I guess. The movement at times felt kind of clunky. Sliding sometimes felt like I was on ice and I was sliding super far. Other times it felt like I was pretty much stuck to the ground. It just didn't seem consistent. The grenade animations also felt really, really weird. I don't know if it's just our characters throwing out their arms playing baseball over the weekend or what, but my dude was taking centuries to throw equipment, it felt like. Especially when I tried to throw back grenades that my enemies had just thrown at me, it seemed like it took forever. So yeah, those animations felt very clunky, very awkward. Hopefully that's something we can see changed in the future. Then another aspect that I wasn't really a huge fan of was the incentive to actually play the objectives in some modes. I would say primarily kill confirmed, just because of how the new score streak system works. Now that I think about it, actually, I don't know if I ever played a match of kill confirmed that ended because the team collected all the tags. I think pretty much every single game ended because the time ran out. And I think that's got to do with how the score streak system incentivizes playing the OBJ in a mode like kill confirmed, where going after that tag may actually end your 4 or 5 kill streak, in which you're now getting some pretty decent sized kill bonuses for your streaks. So, you know, if you're on that road to a chopper gunner, it doesn't make sense to go out and grab that tag when you know you have a position on lock and you have the enemies under control. So I'm not quite sure how you'd be able to fix that, but perhaps that could lead into my next point of the 6v6 player counts just kind of felt off on some maps. Now, obviously, the movement in this game is slower, so naturally it's going to play a bit slower, but I really felt like you could do even 10v10 on some of the 6v6 maps, like Miami, for instance, and it would flow perfectly fine. To me, a lot of the maps felt like I was spawning in, running for a bit, trying to hunt for someone, trying to find someone, getting a kill, running some more, dying, spawning way back, rinse and repeat. We'll touch more on this specifically in just a moment, but to me, Call of Duty just isn't hunting. It isn't a lot of time without seeing people. It's pretty much just constant action. It's chaotic, and I wasn't always getting that feel in the 6v6 or even the 12v12 modes for that matter. Also, speaking of the 12v12 mode, the spawns were brutal, especially on Armada. If you die, you spawn all the way back on the spawn ships. You then have to run through those, either grab a zip line or find a boat or even swim across to the main ship. And that just takes a lot of time away from gameplay, right? The spawns felt like they were way too deep and even too sticky, I guess, as well. But this is something I think could be fixed with the ability to spawn on your squad mates like we had back in Modern Warfare Ground War, or simply being able to spawn on the flags that you control. That way, if you want, you can be put right back into the action right away. Of course, though, being that it is 12v12, that obviously lowers the squad count compared to what we had in Modern Warfare. Maybe we see some higher player counts, maybe we don't, but regardless, the Ground War spawn system definitely was not ideal, to say the least. Also, I don't know why we need turrets in the spawn. That seems like it's kind of just asking people, it's inviting them actually, to just camp in the spawn. That to me hurts the flow of the game. Not really a big fan of that one either. Then my final quarrel with this game is, of course, the matchmaking. There was definitely some form of skill-based matchmaking involved. Some sessions it felt ridiculously strong. For a few games it felt kind of non-existent. But the fact that this was an alpha and I felt like I was trying to qualify for CDL champs, to me was a very big letdown. I definitely felt like some games were laggy and very skippy, and part of me wonders if that would have been different if the lobby also didn't feel incredibly sweaty with Timmy Quickscopes trying to slide cancel and snake slide around every single corner. It just seems really early to be experiencing that kind of matchmaking, so that was just a very big disappointment to see. But as we talked about yesterday, I unfortunately don't really see that changing, just because it protects the players that Activision is trying to keep on the game, and ultimately that makes them money, so it is what it is, I guess. However, overall, the way I see it, this is an alpha. It's not going to be perfect, and I definitely can't sit here and say right now, hey, this game is infinitely better or worse than any other Call of Duty that we've seen before. We do have a ways to go until launch, and hopefully we're going to see some improvements in a handful of areas. But as of right now, I would say the game is definitely fun, but it's got a lot of changes needed to really be a great Call of Duty. Hopefully Treyarch can make those changes, and come the beta and eventually the full launch, ideally we're going to have a game that is a step up from where we are now. But yeah, with all of that being said, that is how I currently feel about Black Ops Cold War. And that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the world of Call of Duty, between news, intel, updates, tips, pretty much everything like that, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. As I mentioned earlier, right now Code Immortal will actually get you 30% off pretty much everything over on the G Fuel website. So if you want to stock up in time for the Cold War beta or Season 6 of Modern Warfare and Warzone, now is a great time to grab a shaker cup, a starter pack, or even a brand new tub. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.